change your perception. It's a free press.
And I know what works.
And there's a magic.
Financial
in that
fashion.
single sound.
We are what we are today.
That's the problem with age.
We do have issues arising out of
the time for this new century.
Hello and welcome to Talk Asia. I'm Lorraine Hahn. My guest today is 23-year-old pianist who in recent years has taken the classical world by storm. Born in Shenyang, China, Lang Lang was destined to a life as a musician, learning his do-re-mis even before he was 3. By his teens, he had accumulated accolades and rave reviews for his performances at competitions and festivals. His move to the United States on a music scholarship led to a sold-out solo debut concert at New York's Carnegie Hall in 2001. Since then, he's been in high demand, playing for presidents and with some of the world's top orchestras. Lang Lang, welcome to Talk Asia. Thank you very much, for being here. What is your definition of a good classical performance?
I think if you really build the bridge through your heart to the audience, and then I think it's a very unique performance.
I watched you just once play. What really struck me was the intensity, and I use that word very freely, on your face when you were playing. It was almost like you were one with the piece that you were playing. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I think not only in the piece, I think that instrument, it should be part of your body. And it's like the word that people ask me, the piano is your profession. I say, piano, it kind of is my profession, but I don't think profession is the right word. For me, piano is part of my life.
Right, and an extension of your body, right?
of the body, yeah.
What is going through your mind, though, when you actually play a piece?
In the beginning, of course, if you learn the notes, that you need to make a photocopy from the score. And one of the greatest pianists, Arthur Rubinstein, said when he tried to memorize the piece, he even tried to memorize the coffee, which is split out on the paper, on the score. And I said, wow, that's quite something. So first you need to make sure the notes right, and then later I think you need to start imagination. It's like where music can take you. You
have played a staggering number of concerts in the past few years. It seems you go on and on and on. How do you approach each concert differently? I
must say, for me, every concert you need to bring the best you can do, and that's the kind of the basically that's the dream for me, to play every concert as the best as I can do, and then sometimes it's not hard because when you play with something like somebody like Sir Simon Rattle and the Berliner Philharmonic, or Barenboim with Chicago Symphony, you just get inspired from them, and then you get so inspired and you just play like a dream, like a fantasy. And they really inspire you to be a better place, to be kind of a more inspirational way. You strike me, or as somebody who doesn't get nervous very easily. Is that true? For the first time, for me, if I play some new pieces or something, I felt a little bit, not nervous, but a little bit kind of not so sure, because you don't know what are you going to face. But if I play like 3 times or more than 2 times, then it's not a problem. You don't really feel it. You just enjoy it. Have you ever forgotten any notes? Sometimes you do, but the good thing is that you just fake it. It's really, this is the best way to explain, because lots of young performers get so nervous before concert, and I always tell just improvise something. Go ahead. Go with the flow. Nobody would know anyway. Even they know. It's don't worry about it. In somebody at your level, you have both critics and you have your fans. Now, the critics would say that you have put a lot of emphasis on being a showman. How do you feel about that? That seems like an old story when I play lots of the showpieces like Rachmaninoff, Liszt, and sure, I think. In a way, I am a showman, but in the other way, I'm a musician as well. So these two should be balanced. You don't see it as clashing, the showmanship overtaking sort of the traditional classical music? No, I don't think so, because in the piano literature, you have some of the pure artistic pieces, like Bach, Goldberg Variation, or like some of the Beethoven or Chopin. But you also have some of the show business, like like Liszt, like Rachmaninoff, like Tchaikovsky, and like Spanish music, And I think in order to be a good musician, you should have both.
Walk me through your practice routine. I mean, how long does it take to learn a song?
It depends what kind of song you're playing or what kind of pieces you play. I always joke with little kids. They ask, hey, so how many hours do you practice? I say, it depends how old you are. If you're 5 years old, 5 hours. 6 years old, 6 hours. 8 years old, 8 hours. And 10, really sorry, 10 hours. But this is kind of a joke. But in my case, when I was a little kid, it's a little bit like this. Not exactly, but it's a little bit like this. But I think after I turned 18 years old, I practice much less because I have so much more things to do, and also lots of concerts. So I only practice 2 hours, which is
not much.
It's not much, but I think it's enough.
Lang Lang, we're going to take a very, very short break. When we come back, we'll talk to Lang Lang about his childhood and making sacrifices to see his dream come true. Stay with us.
Motorola L6 has arrived. More phone, less space. Hello, Moto.
Do you want your sports news coming from the sidelines? CNN World Sport takes you where the other guys don't.
On the field. On the course. On the court.
On the track.
And even in the pool.
Closer to your favorite athletes. World Sport every day on CNN.
On Living Golf this month, we're in Egypt. As golf tourism emerges from the shadows of the Sphinx and the pyramids, we explore whether fears over violence will stunt the industry's growth. Plus, I catch up with England's David Howell at home as the Ryder Cup star explains how he's emerged as one of Europe's top players.
Living Golf, in association with Rolex, Monday on CNN.
People power taking their life.
Your art became
Everybody likes to story. Your life is a story.
Hello again, you're watching Talk Asia, and my guest is music prodigy Lang Lang. Lang Lang, why the piano? You have clarinet, drums, flute. What was it about the piano that caught your fancy?
My parents bought a piano when I was 2 years old, so quite early on. Then I was watching Tom and Jerry. And as you know, one of the episodes that they were playing, the Liszt Hungarian Rhapsody #2, and Tom played like totally crazy cat. So, he is a crazy cat, but the way he played on that piano, I will never forget. It's like the Horowitz in the Cats version. Flat fingering, flying all over, that's really inspired me a lot. And so I was like watching and I got shocked. My eye became so big. And then I saw my piano, and I saw the big piano in the cartoon. Cartoon, they made piano huge, and And then I said, okay, let me try it. And then I start, banging at the piano, imitating cats, Tom. And then that's kind of the beginning. And I always felt that piano is very unique. And it's huge. And it's like a symphony orchestra, basically.
Yes, yes. Amazing what cartoons can do for you. You started piano lessons at the age of 3.
Yeah.
Now, 3 years old, you may have been a big 3-year-old, but still, could your fingers actually reach the keys? Could your feet touch the pedals? I mean, you were 3 years old.
My hand is like the little toy thing, you know, little tiny. But compared to the same age, I had pretty big hands. But I couldn't really reach the pedal, so my mother got a little chair, you know, it was like this, and like this. The way when you see Glenn Gould playing piano, it was like this, and I was kind of the mini version of that. and then when I was 5, I played the public recital, and it was so because I must put pedal on, you know, because otherwise I cannot play some of the pieces. So I basically playing piano almost standing. You know, I stand it when I stood it, when I played it.
It seems to me like your family has almost chosen your path of life with your father's background, you know, and him playing the erhu. Are you living your father's dream?
I think kind of. I mean, my father's dream is also, I mean, when he was a kid, he liked to be a, you know, a wonderful musician. And he is a very good musician, but somehow that, I mean, I think it's kind of extension of his dream, and so does my mother, because that was so many years ago. They don't have the environment to really learn piano or you know, or Western instrument, because the era. So
Cultural Revolution.
Cultural Revolution. So basically, that generation of our parents, you know, that generation always had big hope for the kids.
So when you moved away with your dad to the United States and your mom was left behind, was that difficult? Was that tough?
Oh, I mean, I'm already used to it, because when I was 9 years old, I went to Beijing, and my father quit his job in Shenyang to be with me, and my mother was the person in charge of the you know, earning money and to support us. So that was the most difficult time in my life. It was very difficult. I remember when I came to Beijing, we rent the cheapest place and without heat in the winter. And every night my father need to jump into bed like 1 hour before I'm finishing practice. Then, you know, the bed is warm. You know, it was really touching moments, and I must say, I mean, the things like that happen so many different ways.
Lang Lang, I know your parents are very musical. Did they give you any advice on, you know, how to play or?
Yeah, my father always gave me advice because he's professional. You know, music is, you know, connected. No matter Chinese music or Western, it's always something that you can listen, you can trust. You know. And my father, because, I mean, it's been so many years he's next to me, you know, and we even go to bathroom in the same time, or sometimes. And so he really understands what I'm doing, and but now, since I'm 23 years old, he doesn't really give me many advice.
You also played a duet with your father at Carnegie Hall. That must have been something special.
That was the most emotional moment in my life so far, because that's kind of, I need to give something back to my father, because, you know, I'm sure everyone who, if you study music instruments, your dream must be play at Carnegie Hall. That's basically the place we wanted, you know. And especially if you play a Chinese instrument. And it's just like far beyond the dreams, right? So for my debut Carnegie Hall, that I asked my father, I said, could you bring back your instrument and practice? And maybe can we play something together? You know, in the beginning he was, no, come on, it's your short time, and it's not my time, you know. I said, but please, you know, join me, and invited. And then he started thinking about it, and then he did some warm-up before, and that was really, I mean, I really admire him that he didn't practice that day, because he was busy whole day for me, because I was doing a DVD recording at Carnegie Hall. So he just picked up the erhu and played with me, and it's quite amazing. That day, I think it's the best he ever played. And I thought, oh gosh, I mean, if he's a pianist, maybe
he'll steal the show.
He will steal the show.
Lang Lang will take another very, very short break. When we come back, we'll get to know Lang Lang, the teacher, and why he thinks it's important to nurture young, budding musicians. Stay with us.
Your world, through the eyes of international journalists, reporting from the inside.
Vermont,
Budapest, Tehran, Caracas.
Varying opinions, different cultures, unforgettable images, all views, all sides.
Muslims here in Korea.
Experience how other countries view themselves. Only on CNN World Report.
Good business information. Wouldn't that give you an edge? As an investor, as a consumer, as a business person, CNN puts you face to face with people in the know. Share their experiences, perspectives, and what it all means to you. They are the world's business leaders. They know success, and we connect you to them every step of the way. CNN, be the first to know.
This month on Global Office, expand your empire.
The risks and rewards of globalization from some of the biggest names in the corporate world. Plus, the Vikings are coming. We look at the Icelandic invasion of the high street. And out with the old, in with the new, improving your business in the year of the dog.
That's Global Office this Sunday on CNN.
20, 30 different.
I can change the way we are not perfect.
Forget this and talk.
Welcome back to Talk Asia. My guest is world-renowned pianist Lang Lang. Lang Lang, a few years ago, 2002 I think it was, you were named by Teen People magazine as one of the 20 teens who would change the world. That's quite a responsibility.
Sure, I mean, it's pretty big. And it's a big encouragement, because then you see that last year I became the youngest Goodwill ambassador for UNICEF. And I went to Africa.
Tanzania, right?
For my first visit, field trip. And we did 20 concerts, benefit concerts this year for the tsunami, for the AIDS, for malaria. And, I was so much more happier when I played those concerts than the, normal concerts. I felt that I really did something to the world. And I think this is the future plan, to do more concerts like this, to raise money for the kids who's having in trouble or some problems or homeless or whatever. And so this is one focus on this, and another focus is to inspire young people listen to classical music. This is a very big job.
I was just going to say, you have to compete against Eminem or whatever.
I mean, this is a very big job, because in Asia it's very funny, because of the 20 million kids who study piano in China itself. It's not a big problem, but in America, especially, and Europe, part of Europe also, become very difficult. And the concert goer, the age become more. And it's not, this is also good, but at the same time we need to looking for the next generation involvement. So basically everywhere I go, I do outreach program, go to schools, and to play some music, to explain, tell them little stories and little dance, to make classical music very personal, rather than, little kids ask me, oh, Beethoven, I think he's dead for 20 years, right? I say, yeah, but his music is still there, you know, it's great, wonderful. Do you want to listen? Oh, yeah. Oh, I like this piece. It's nice.
Teaching, is that also something very special for you then, your master classes?
Yeah, because, you know, just be very honest that in the education world that I find, especially in classical music, sometimes you find the master class is often very strict. And it's really like you know, big boss talk to little guy, you know, how this place, play like this, present. Not so much life, not so much explain of why, you know, you do this. And so I think for little kids, it's not very healthy, you know. Then you just tell them, do this, do that. And then, you know, and then the music is, I mean, art, it's not like this, you know. It should be, you should lead them into the place you're thinking of, not you want, you know, you think of. And then they just kind of start going with their own way to, you know, your imagination. I think that's the right way to teach kids.
I mean, kids, really, children, they don't necessarily have the discipline to sit down, right? I mean, it's not something automatic that children have. What advice would you give to little children who be thinking, oh my God, I have to practice and go home and practice for 4 hours or something? What do you tell these children to keep them going?
Don't think about the hours. Just do, I think this is very unfortunate. In the beginning, you need to do the scales because that's the basic thing. Just when you practice those boring scales, bear in mind it's very useful for the beautiful pieces you're going to play later. And always, you know, if you always think about this, then it's not anymore boring stuff. It's kind of preparation for something spectacular.
Wow. How do you make music fun? Classical music fun?
I mean, every piece has the fun part, has the sad part, has the beautiful part, and but you should bring the joy from your heart and bring that out. Bring that out.
When you're not, you know, doing your charity work, when you're not doing concerts, when you're not teaching, what do you do? I mean,
movies. My first love, movies, and traveling to beautiful places, in the mountain or beach, or whatever, something nice, you know. So
let's say being a pianist doesn't really stop you from doing anything else with your hands, right?
I'm very careful, you know, and so I don't touch hot water or something. So that's why when you ask me about warm water or hot water, it's not because my mouth or throat. I'm scared about my hands.
That's interesting.
So it's a little bit silly actually. It's a little bit too much. But you know, it's better to be not protected.
What do you think about this growth of Asian musicians now? I mean, there's so many making a name for themselves these days.
It's really a great thing to see more and more Asian musicians coming out. And I mean, look, 20 million pianists in China itself.
Does being an Asian mean that the interpretation, the dynamics, the style is different from, let's say, a Western person?
Depends what, it's more about knowledge. Because everybody has a talent and has a sensitive feeling of taste of music, right? But the problem is that in Asia, because the Western classical music still has a little distance. So that's why often what I find today back home in the conservatories, it's not because that they cannot play, or the problem is that sometimes they don't know how to think of this phrase. And so that's why I think, you know, the teachers really need to work very hard on it, because you need to really understand Western culture first.
We're entering this new year. What can we expect from you? Are you going to still keep up the same pace? Any special things you're working on?
In China years, it's a year of the dog. And I was born in the year of the dog.
Oh, great.
So it's going to be kind of my year, but and also everybody else here. But for me, I felt that I own this year.
Lang Lang, thank you very, very much. I wish you all the very best for 2006, the new year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've been speaking with world-renowned classical pianist Lang Lang, and that is Talk Asia this week. I'm Lorraine Hahn. Let's talk again next week.